Yeah, me too. You can hear me. Okay. Whew, good. I'm having all kinds of problems over here. I've been on the wrong, my original feed didn't work. I've been trying to find you guys. I'm sorry. That's why I wanted to have a first one tonight. Um, so we could try to figure out just exactly what's going on here. So here we are. How are you doing? Obviously, this is my first live stream too, my friend. Thanks for showing up and thanks for coming in. And I don't know, you're live and we can see and hear you. Good deal. Good deal, Keith. How you doing? Good. We're a little late starting. I had all kinds of technical problems. They kept telling me there was no live feed, and I'd see you guys typing, but you couldn't hear me, and unbelievable. So, anyways, we're over it now. Welcome to the first annual, first monthly, first bi-monthly. If I can figure this out, Captain Bull Fanatic live stream. It's good to see you. We've got a small group of members only, and we're going to stay with that small group. And it's a good thing tonight that I didn't have 200 people show up because that would have been a little bit embarrassing. So let me go over a couple things that y'all ought to know about this. You can see my display behind me. But YouTube has some rules about gun channels and live streams, and so I have to stick to those because I don't want to fight with them on it. I've been doing a pretty good job of not getting in their crosshairs. So the first rule is that on a live stream, I cannot handle, touch, or demonstrate a firearm. So I can't turn around and pick one of those things up, or I'm gonna get in trouble. So that's number one. And that's only on live streams. Of course, I can do it on videos. We shoot them all over the place. But the second rule is that I can't talk about where we bought them. I want to make the statement right now up front that these guns are not for sale. Nothing here that you can see is for sale. And we're not going to be promoting any of these firearms for sale. So now that I've taken care of the two disclaimers about this, I hope you guys are doing well. How's the weather where you are? So what I'm hoping to do today, cold in Connecticut. Yeah, it's Connecticut. You're as far north as we are here in Michigan, and it wasn't bad today, and it's not going to be bad tomorrow, except when it gets warm in the wintertime around here, which is 40 some degrees. It's going to rain all day, so it doesn't do as much good. So whenever we get warm, whenever the weather gets better, um, the wind and the rain come in, and it's a front moving through. So tomorrow is the day, and then after that, it's going to be through the weekend. It's going to be in the low 20s all weekend. So we're supposed to get more snow. So I'm near Lake Michigan, so I get a lot of lake effect snow. A lot of lake effect snow. Well, anyways, what I hope to do here is to hear from y'all on how things that you'd like to hear about going forward, whether they be things we can talk about here, questions you might have, topics you might like to hear about, or things you might like to see me do a full-length video on. Now, I do have a new video coming out here real shortly. I'm pretty much done editing it. It should be out in the next day or two. But and that one is taking a look at different carry styles and holster styles through the years, and sort of featuring the ones that I have in the historical correctness of all of those, and it was kind of fun to make. So that's coming here real shortly. But we're at that stage now, of course, where most of my videos have to be done in here because it's cold out. It's just too cold out. And that's why I'm sort of hoping some of these will work, because they can turn into content that I don't have to be outside to do. But anyway, so I'm open to whatever you guys want to talk about, whatever you want to hear from me, whatever you want to hear, whatever you hope to hear going forward on these things. I've never done one of these before. I've been in a couple of them, and generally the ones that I've seen are just people asking questions. So Um, yeah, it should be. I have I have too many firearms behind me, cap and ball revolvers behind me. I also have too much gun leather. So I so I thought I would feature that. I get it melted today. Yeah, I did hear a little bit too, Keith, just a little bit, but it was really windy. And tomorrow it's gonna rain as it gets warmer, which is just fantastic. I'm gonna try to get out and shoot something tomorrow, but we'll see if I can get through the raindrops or not. For a couple of you, like Rick and I know Keith, I'm a teacher by trade, and my winter semester classes start tomorrow night. So I'll be back. I hope I have better luck with that technology than I did with this, but I'll be back online tomorrow night teaching my students something. I'm not even sure what I'm teaching them about, but I'll figure it out when I get there. So I've been off on Christmas break for the last month, and it's been great. So have you all gotten to shoot at all? Keith, did you get to shoot today? No, did you go out and shoot today or not? I know we talked earlier. I teach, Rick. I teach. I hate to say use these words, but I'm a college professor. I teach graduate school, people getting a master's degree in social work, and I've done that for 30 years. I teach a lot of research and stuff like that. So, and I've been on camera since the pandemic started, so that's sort of what led me into thinking I ought to do a channel a few years ago. Is that I like to shoot. I shoot all the time. I'm used to being on camera. So why don't we just mix the two and see if we can't have a YouTube channel? See what would happen. And this has gone better than I could have ever expected. I know Rock McLaughlin was here a few minutes ago. Rock is he was in first, but he would have gotten caught up in that other feed that was all problematic. I can't hardly wait to see which of these is being recorded and not. So yeah, I wanted to hopefully have him show up, but that's my fault for screwing up the technology. I'll bet you there's at least 3 or 4 different live streams were started to be recorded on on YouTube at this point. I'm going to have to go in and clean them up when we're all done. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it. Um, I really have I have a good time doing this. Maybe you can tell, but I enjoy doing this. I mean, I shoot all the time. I mean, that's my real passion is shooting. Um, and if I can bring some enjoyment to people and a little relaxation, and if folks that don't get a chance to shoot as much as I do can live through that shooting and I do a little bit, learn something along the way, and get in touch with the old history. That's something that I really like is that history. Um, then I'm being successful, whether I have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers or not. That doesn't really bother me all that much. Um, that's not my. I mean, it's satisfying to your ego, but it's not really important to have all those people. I know some people, the channels that have been around for a long time that I watch. Some of Duelist Mike, he's got 120,000 subscribers, and I think I have 5. But he's been doing this for 15 years, and for a long time he was really the big kahuna, and he does good work. So that's why That's why it does well. I'm glad he's back making videos again after his difficult health year. So Rick, I'm glad you liked it. Let's see, creating a way on the channel to get more folks shooting and not only watching videos would really promote cap and ball. You know, Keith, I like that. Yeah, you know, that's. I think we can talk about that. That's why I have these little competitions. You didn't get out today. No, I didn't either. That's why I have these little competitions, and I want to do more. Because that's getting people out shooting. Now, you know, I don't know if the people that go out and shoot in our playing card or the Hickok challenge competition that we did. I don't know if it's the same people that would be shooting anyways. But I gotta believe that we're getting some new people out and getting into the enjoyment of all this. I get a lot of comments and questions about people who, especially in the last couple of weeks, people who have, it seems that people have bought their first cap and ball revolver, or they want to know which one to buy. That's why I did a video a while back on what is the great first video. But you know, we need new people shooting. We need lots of people shooting so that our hobby doesn't go away. We don't hang by shooting, then we're going to have trouble buying. That's one of the reasons why we have so much trouble buying caps, percussion caps, is that we don't make up a big enough slice of the market between us and cap lock rifles. I don't think we make up a big enough slice of the market for CCI and Remington and RWS to even manufacture for us. So it's you know, it's I'm sort of hoping that it feels like there's an energy out there around this stuff, around black powder shooting, not just the revolvers, but around black powder shooting in and of itself. I look across all kinds of channels and you know, you've been to our club, Keith. Rick, you haven't, but we have a pretty nice sized club. But you know, our muzzleloader club is running into the same problem that the hobby has run into over the last few years, and that is that I'm one of the younger guys there. And remember, I had a heart attack last year, so that doesn't bode well for the future. But you know, our membership is old. They came in and started shooting muzzleloaders like a lot of folks did back in the 70s and the 80s after the Jeremiah Johnson movie and Last of the Mohicans and all that stuff that came around the 200th United States 200th birthday. And that really kicked this whole thing off. It was a cultural moment, I think, back then that turned muzzleloading and rifles and pistols and everything into a really popular thing. I'm sort of hoping that the 250th anniversary this year will give us some of the same opportunities, but it'll all depend on how it's celebrated and how it's talked about. Okay, Rick, you got into cap and ball years ago after finding that I had three great grandfather. That was he? Oh, no kidding! Your third time great grandfather was a cavalry at Gettysburg and survived the war. That's really, really cool. That's really, really cool. Have you been? I assume you've been to Gettysburg and seen the place and whatnot. And I imagine hopefully there are family stories that have been passed down through the years. That's how history gets passed. That's really cool. That's really cool. 3 times. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Keith, I think those 2 competitions did well. The first one got about 20 people in it. This last one, the Hickok little square, the 5x5 inch square challenge, really drew some people. We had 50, 60, 70 people involved in this, and drew people in from all over the place. And we got whole club out of the state of Washington that are not only do they participate in the shoot, but they've set up their own range out there with some of these little competitions. And they've worked into their schedule, so it's really cool. I think people are looking for a reason to shoot, man, if you know the truth. I think it's hard for some folk, and I don't know if you have this problem, but I have to work at it a little bit. It's hard to, if you're not shooting for something, to keep shooting. Some people really need a goal or something to shoot for. Um, Around here, it's the channel. For me, I mean, I can always, there's the channel I'm going to shoot because I'm shooting for the channel, but also, as you know, Keith, and you don't know me yet, Rick, or maybe you can tell, I'm one of these guys that likes to do things well. So if I'm going to shoot, I'm going to try to learn how to shoot really well. And so that's part of the thing I'm shooting for too, is to see if I can't become a dead shot. A long ways to go, but it's a lot of fun trying. So yeah, Keith, one of the things I was hoping you guys, as you guys are here, and we'll get a few more in. One of the things I want to find out is that what shooting competitions are you interested in? Now, this Hickok one went off so well. I'm thinking of doing that one again. People like that. I can provide the target. Maybe we'll do it from 15 yards instead of from 10, because that target's big enough to make it a 15-yard target. Or I'll just get a standard target that I can put in a PDF on the computer or email to people that we can shoot at 20 yards or something of that nature, and just judge the highest score. I don't think it matters so much what the competition is. It matters that we can get people to participate in something that folks can organize around. I thought it was cool that we had some of I didn't even know there was a United States International Muzzleloader team, but that we actually had a couple of members of the United States International Muzzleloader team. One of them is the captain of the pistol team, actually show up and shoot in the competition, which was really slick. And they travel all over the world shooting black powder matches on behalf of the United States all summer long. They were telling me they're going to be in Austria next year shooting at the World Championship. So, yeah, that is very cool. That is very cool. Hey, Brock, that was my fault, brother. I had some technical problems, and I blew the first where you had signed in. I could see what you wrote, but you couldn't hear me. And the technical problems were a problem, and I finally figured it out, and I'm finally on here. So I was saying to the guys, I don't know how many different stops and starts I've got recorded on YouTube, but I can always delete those because we finally are here. So how you doing, Rock? How's life in Tennessee? Yeah, it's life all right. It's life all right, especially when it comes to technology. That's not my, it's technically not my strong suit. Oh, that's good. That's good. I think I wear the aerosol Lysol as a cologne. My wife doesn't like it too much. Actually, she forces me into this room, into my little office here where I'm at, if I'm going to use that stuff because she hates the smell of it so bad. Um, I keep telling her it works, man. She needs to spray it on everything, except for our pots and she needs to spray it on our pots and pans. I mean, this stuff works like crazy, right? Makes all the squeaks go away and keeps everything clean. And that's not bad. I guess I want to mention something about Rock here. Rock sounds like you've done some interesting stuff over the years, Rock, but I want to point out a couple of things here. You guys can go see these on Amazon. But so Rock McLaughlin has this Cannonball Range Logbook. Can you all see that all right? Range Logbook. You can get these on Amazon for about $9. And there's a target on the back that he's allowing us to copy and shoot if you want to. And I'm actually thinking this might be a fun target for the next competition from a little more distance. But on the inside, it gives you a chance to really keep track of There, I'm in front of the camera. Gives you a chance to really keep track of your shooting from one range session to another and see how each one is going. And with these Captain Ball revolvers, every one of them shoots so differently. So I love it, Rock. I actually bought, you sent me one. Yeah, Rick, they are really cool. You sent me a set, and there's a second set that I'm using quite frequently now, and that's a Captain Ball journal. In fact, the new video that's coming out is outline. I'm going to use one of these to outline all my videos in, so that I've got them in one spot. I don't have pieces of paper flying all over the place. But I'll tell you what, I went ahead. I had one set, and I went ahead and bought a second set because I'm going to use one of the range logs for my 36 caliber, one of the range logs for my 44, so I can keep them separate. Because I keep notes. I've mentioned that a lot on the channel. I have a notebook that I keep notes, but it's really sort of loose leaf paper that I stuck, put into a notepad, and I just write little paragraphs underneath each one of the name of the guns, and they're in no particular order. So, because from one to the next, I got a couple guns here that I haven't shot in 6-8 months. I'd like to remember what I did with it the last time. So I appreciate that. I'm gonna push those a little bit for you, and we may even give those away. Pick up a few and give them away as prizes at the pistol shooting at the Grand Valley Cap and Ballers coming up in June. So we always need prizes, so we might go ahead and buy a few of the prices right, and we have a little budget for that thing. So I just want to point that out. I think they're fantastic. Thanks, Keith. I this last Hickok competition did far better than I expected it to. The playing card one was kind of new, and it was first, and my channel was a lot smaller, and I wasn't quite sure how to promote it as well, and it did okay for the first time. But I sort of expected the same sort of 25, 30 people to show up for the Hickok 5x5 square. And I'm telling you what, it really did. Not only did it get a lot of people shooting, but it generated some, like you said, it generated some excitement and some interest. And I'm still flipping on Facebook and seeing people using the target in their new photographs. Well, Mr. McLaughlin, we must share this organization, because if you could see my other notebook the notebook that I talk about keeping notes in, it's gotten to the point now after a few years that I'm not sure I can even find my revolvers in there anymore. It'd take me half the night just to find the one I wanted to write about or read about. So this will at least give me a chance to hopefully get some organization. That's why I need one for 36s and one for 44s. So guys, I want your opinion on something. I'm thinking of doing something a little different this year. I've did this video a couple weeks ago on the brass frame things, and everybody's always interested in how long brass frames will last. I'm still getting questions on that. Somebody asked me the other day if they shoot 15 grains of Pyrodex in a 44 in a 36 caliber, 200 shots a year. How many years would it last? And I'm not sure if that was a serious question or a math problem. But I said at 200 shots a year, that's only about 15 shots a month. I think you're going to be fine at 15 grains. But so I can't pick it up and show it to you. But I found somewhere, I can't say that either, but I found somewhere not too long ago, a 44 caliber brass framed sheriff's model Pietro. It was on sale for an ungodly low price. It might be the lowest Cap and Ball revolver price that I have seen in 7 or 8 years. I mean, it's just almost ridiculous how low it is. I didn't really want the gun, but I bought it because it was so cheap. So I thought, what if we did a 1 year repeatable test on that particular brass frame gun? And that is, every so often, we'll take pictures of it, we'll do some measurements, we'll get all the data up front. Because it's so cheap, I don't mind if I ruin it. What if I load that thing up to full loads, um, like you would if it was steel frame, and just shot the daylights out of it like I would if it was a steel framed sheriff's model? And then every month or so, or every few weeks, take pictures again, do measurements, and follow the process all the way through the shooting season, and see if at the end of the year, putting one of these brassers through a normal shooting regimen. For me, I'll have to work at it because I have so many that I shoot, but this would be kind of fun. And then see if I can, by shooting, say, 25 to 30 grains in that 44 caliber with 454s, see if I can shoot it loose. See if that actually happens on modern brass frame Captain Bauer revolvers. I know it happened in the old ones, but so I'm thinking that would give me something that folks could follow a little bit, and then and really do a test that might be of value to people, is to find out what it takes, if it takes anything, to ruin a brass frame gun. Yeah, Rick, that does sound interesting, doesn't it? I've been thinking about that one ever since I got this. I got that. I wish I could show it to you, but I'll put it in a video here soon. But I got it. I had it about a week, and I've taken it apart and cleaned it up and got the because it's a Pieta. I have to get the wedge to fit. You got to hammer those things out and then sand them on the sides and put them back in. But and I thought, I mean, I paid like $179 for that thing, brand new. And so, and I'm just not going to tell you where, but it was one of the places I buy my revolvers from. And so, I mean, out the door with shipping, it was showed up at my house for less than $200. And I thought, if I was going to blow up a brass frame gun and really run a test, I don't want to run it on one of the ones that I really like my Griswold and Gunnison or my Spiller and Burr and all that. I like those too much, and they're more expensive. So I thought, what if I try to blow this one up? Not blow it up, but stretch it out and just shoot it normally. Go out to the range and put 25, 30 grains of Pyrex or Swiss in those things and shoot it like I would if it was my steel frame sheriff's model, 50, 60, 70 shots at a time, all different kinds of targets. And then each time I bring it out, after I get it cleaned up, is to take photographs again of the recoil shield on the inside, and video to wiggle the arbor and measure the gap, the cylinder gap, and see over the course of say I shoot it once a month from April to November, put 60, 70, 80 shots through it at once a month. That's 10, 8, 9 months. That's 600 shots a year. Maybe I'll have to do a little more, but at full speed, at full blast. What do you guys think about that? I think that would be kind of fun. Plus, I'd have fun doing it. Not the little kid in me wants to stretch a gun out, I think. See, what I like to do is I believe with all my heart, because I've seen a couple. I bought a guy, buddy's black powder collection a couple years ago, who had gotten injured and old and was getting out of it. So he sold me a couple of rifles. And he showed me two 44 caliber Pieta 1860 Army brass frames. And he had shot the daylights out of those things over the course of however long he had them. And those were loose, right? But he had them for 30 years. Those were from the late 80s. And so, and I've been doing my reading, and it sort of says that the metal that was used then, the brass, whatever it is that was used back then, is a whole lot different than the gunmetal that's used today. So I've seen them stretched out. I know it happens. I ended up selling them to a dude for $100 for the both of them as wall hangers because they were pretty. So I'm going to do that. Me neither, Rock. I don't have any idea. That would work it. Yeah, I think you're right. I think what I might do is just carry it with, and I'll have some people at the range shoot it because I got some friends that would love to shoot it, and I'll carry it with me all the time, regardless of what I'm involved in. I'm usually around the club a lot, so I'll just find a way to go out and put another 40 or 50 rounds through it just for the hell of it. Get some pictures. I really want to work hard at it. I'm not sure anybody really knows for sure, but I'd like to give it a try anyways. And let's see. And the truth is, it might not prove anything at all because of manufacturing differences in these replicas. I mean, you can get steel guns. I got a steel Uberti 1851 Navy London model that I did a video on a year ago that blew up on me at the NMLRA shoot. I mean, that arbor came loose, and the pins that hold the barrel fell off, and the loading lever fell off, shooting 20 grains of black powder. So I suppose it can happen to any of them, but brass is the one that everybody seems to worry about, and I understand that, and everybody has an opinion on them. So, in my regular ones, I shoot light loads in them, so I don't shoot heavy loads even in my steel frame as much anymore. Keith, you've been an influence on me on that. So I agree with you, Rock. I think I should take it out, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to put 1,000 rounds in that thing, man, and really full speed, full blast loads, and see what happens. And if it comes apart, we'll have made our point. If it doesn't come apart, we'll have made our point. And if it does come apart, and it has to go if it has to become a parts gun, it's not like I paid a fortune for it. And it is brand new. It's not used. So it's greasy coming out of the box. So I don't know why it was so cheap, but I'll take it. And I'll get others working on it too, and tell them just to go shoot it, take pictures of it, and shoot it. And we'll age that thing real quickly. So going forward, what would you guys like to see in this thing? If we do this once a month, if we get more people, we'll do it more often. There's 6 of you in the gunfighter group now, and 3 of you are here, which is great. Thank you. I know. I think one of our people is not well, and then there's a couple more. But so I appreciate y'all being here. What are the kinds of things you'd like to see happen in these? I watch Blackie Thomas do his sometimes, and he just does questions and answers. He's got 600-700 people that show up, and they cover the gamut of questions and answers. That's about all he does. Okay, I can do that. You're going to get to share where my apparel comes from. Is what Keith suggested. Yeah, I can do that. This I'll show you. What I want to do is show you where all these beautiful T-shirts come from. This is my Wild Bill Hickok T-shirt artwork that I like. And I got a whole series of these T-shirts that are pretty cool. But I've got some historically correct clothes up there too. The video that's going to be out, I was telling Rick, the video is going to be out here in another couple of days. If I get a chance to, I'm almost done with it. I gotta get it out and then I'll get it to y'all. Um, Ironically, what's funny is that I get more questions in the 3 years, almost 3 years I've been doing this, about my gun leather than I do almost anything else. In fact, I think I get more questions about my gun leather and my possibles bags and holsters and all that stuff, t-shirts, uh, more than anything else. So I decided to do a video on my gun leather and mix it up with the history of how Carry styles from the 19th century and um, to what extent the belt and holsters and whatnot that I use and carry, and my carry style is historically accurate. And I had fun doing that. I mean, anything. I love gun leather, so I could do that forever. So yeah, I'll do something like that. Then we'll see if enough people have asked me about my holsters. So I've got a. I think that one's going to do pretty well. So we'll see how that goes. But the clothing is the same way. I stumbled on these T-shirts about a year and a half ago, and I just love them because you can get them with all the movie sayings on them, and they're pretty cool. So yeah, that's something I can do. Other ideas that things you'd like to see. Like I said, I can put together little short presentations. We can just do Q&A. If I can get my technology to work, the other technology that didn't work tonight, I'll be able to have more than one person. So I might be able to do some interviews. Cross draw, yeah, me too. Rick, I am partial to the plains draw, the frontier draw, the cavalry draw, which is basically cross draw, right? I mean, it's butts forward. I enjoy strong hand draw with the butts forward. It was the original plains draw, and it took a while. You gotta get your arms a little bent like that, so you get down in there and pull that thing out, and not spray the crowd. But that's the old Hickok cavalry started drawing that way and riding that way back in the day because it's more comfortable on a horse. And they could get to both guns with their strong hands, their best shooting hand. They could get to both guns easy uh, in case one ran out of ammo, one got jammed, one got wet, or they got shot in their strong arm, shoulder, or arm, and they got injured. They needed to get at both guns with their other hand. So it didn't work well. It didn't work very well for me either when I first got going. But I wear, if you watch me on the channel, I don't wear two guns because I'm not in a gunfight. But I do wear a strong hand. I'm right-handed. I do wear my butt forward strong hand carry method, and I just practice it. I think it's kind of cool to do, and since back in the 19th century, they actually didn't do quick draw stuff. Um, that I can't do the fast draw like they do. It doesn't worry me at all. Plus, I'm not going to be in a gunfight, so I don't have to worry too much about that. But so that was fun. It just takes some practice, man. And I wear one that way, and then my other one is a cross draw holster. So maybe this group could send you pictures of our holsters and somehow look over everyone's favorites. Yeah, that'd be great, man. That'd be great. Cap and Ball Fanatic at gmail.com. Let me see if you guys can read what I write here, can't you? It's on there. So yeah, there we go. We've got my you've got my email address. That'd be send the pictures along. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. Now my technology screwing up on my Q&A on my chat. So yeah, this is weird. I got some work to do, fellas. Figure out why my technology went all nuts tonight. But at least we managed, huh? At least we managed. So what I want to do is do this again. Um, Maybe in a couple of weeks. I would, because of my work schedule, my teaching schedule is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I need to do this either on a weekend or on a Sunday or on a Monday. Monday seems to be the best night, not dip into people's family time. So I'm thinking 2 weeks down the road on a Monday will give me a chance to fire around with the technology and figure out why I had trouble tonight and why I'm having trouble again. And uh, and then we'll figure it out and we'll be able to do better. I was looking into Zoom, by the way, with a small group, so I could send you all links and then we can see each other and actually talk. And Zoom will work through YouTube. The problem is there's about a 40-second delay. So you talk and I talk, and we'd be sitting here for 40 seconds waiting here. So it's that's not that's not cool. So we won't do that. But I'm thinking 2 weeks down the road about the same time. Does this time work for everybody? Is Monday night okay, folks? Um, where is my? There we go. So is Monday night okay, fellas? Generally, I mean, I don't know. We're about 2 weeks down the road. I will get my technology worked out. Um, I thought I was so cool. I had this fancy thumbnail picture up there, and I thought it was all going to work, and I was going to have it all cool, and then it just sort of went haywire. Um, you know, I'm of the age where technology is still a little bit foreign. So yeah, yeah, that's cool. Fruit. I like shooting fruit. Oh, okay, Rick, that's great. Yeah. So I mean, I've got all kinds of time. Don't get me wrong. I'm a college professor. We don't work very hard at all. Even doing what I am. But my classes are starting up, as I said earlier, tomorrow. And so I have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, about every other week for classes. I let my students be a little lazy sometimes. So Monday nights works best for me because I don't want to get to the weekend and get into people's personal time. So, all right. Well, fellas, thank you for coming. It's been an hour, a little more than an hour. It took me a minute to find it. But I promise the next time I will work it out. Y'all have been fantastic being my guinea pigs tonight. I thank you for that. I thank you for being a member. I'm going to make this worth your while. I promise. So let's meet again in 2 weeks. I'll send you all a note. But let's think about today's the 12th, so let's think about Monday the 24th. I think that's the 24th. No, Monday the 26th. I'm sorry, I can't do my math is bad. We'll go Monday the 26th at 8 o'clock Eastern, same time, same station, and by then I will have figured out what the deal is. All right, any last words, fellas? Yeah, I agree. When it gets to be spring, summer, Keith will have to work it out. We'll have to work it out because I'll still be outside shooting at 8 o'clock. So we're gonna have to work it out. At some point, we'll figure it out. But it's gonna stay dark for a while. 26th. See you then. Thanks. Bye-bye.